Okay, welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Thanks for being here. We're doing some eBay training today, and I'm going to respond to a question that I've gotten multiple times over the past month or so from you guys as you've watched this phenomenon of these fidget spinners sell on the internet. Let me show you a picture of them if you're wondering what in the heck I'm talking about here. What's a fidget spinner? Let me show you. How many of you guys know what a fidget spinner is who are here with me live? Some of you do, because I know some of you have asked. Should I be selling these on eBay? You've asked. Here's examples of what I'm talking about. These are fidget spinners, and it's a crazy phenomenon that's hit the internet and the world by storm, or at least the United States. People are buying them like crazy. It seems like every kid has them. My son has one and loves it. They're right up his alley because he likes things that spin and turn anyway, and so he loves his. Kids love this stuff right now. So I don't know why they're the craze. I don't know a ton about them other than kids love them and they're selling like crazy. So I just want to address the question I've been getting lately, which is, hey, should I sell these? And hey, is it too saturated? If it's not, where can I buy these? Can you make any money with them? Let's take a few minutes and just talk about that, okay? And this isn't any sort of a secret. I know these are selling, and one of the ways that I know these are selling is if you go to this site right here. This is shoot, what's the URL? I always forget. It's the eBay. Yeah, it's this one right here. If you guys haven't used this tool before, it's a good one to use. It's called datalabs.ebay.com/popular.html. I'll probably just let me just see if I can copy the URL and blow it up really quick. Hold on, in case you want to copy it. Here's the URL right here. Let me try that and make sure I'm giving you the right URL. Yes, I am. Okay, that's the URL right there in case you want to copy it. datalabs.ebay.com/popular.html. I'll give you just a second. And while I'm giving you a minute, let me explain what this is. This tool, which has been trained on before, I haven't trained on it lately, but it's part of our eBay tool set that you can use to research what's currently popular and trendy on eBay. So if you ever thought to yourself, how do I know what's trendy? How does everybody know what to sell on eBay? This is at least one place that you can go to get an answer to that question. So if you go there, which I will, you're going to notice it brings up a page that looks like this. And what I'm going to do is I want to see the top sold within like the last week. And if I click last week, you're going to notice right here in the last week on eBay, 6,000 buyers of this item, almost 2,800 buyers of this particular one, 1,900 of this one, 1,700 of this one. These are all just variations of these fidget spinners that are selling so crazy. So I know they're selling for sure. Interestingly, you've got a hammock here that's selling. That doesn't surprise me for the time of year. But anyway, I could go through here and I could find lots of evidence of these fidget spinners selling. And you can see the prices. These ones are selling for $6.99. This says it's selling for 99 cents, but notice that it's not saying anything about shipping, so they're probably charging shipping on that and making money there. We can get a better idea for price here in just a second, but bottom line is I know they're selling. So what I'm going to do, let me just go to eBay and let's just do a search for fidget spinner like this, okay? And let's just do a little bit of research and try to get an idea on, how much these are selling for, okay? So this one right here is anywhere from $8 to $11. So I'm going to make a note of that. 8 to 11 and free shipping. This one's selling a lot. So they're selling 30 of them. for 61 bucks. That's pretty cheap, right? So is that like $2 a piece? Of course, it's still an auction right now. You can see it's a minute left on the auction, so that's not done yet. This one's anywhere from 4 to 11. I'm just trying to get a baseline for about how much they're selling for. This is kind of a weird looking one, selling for $6. A 4-pack for $16.50. This is kind of a cooler one, selling for $10. This one's selling for $7. You've got as low as $5 right here. So, I mean, from what I'm seeing, just as I'm searching around a little bit, I'm seeing them being offered from anywhere between, like $4 to $11, okay, on the high side. So I've got my range. I've got kind of an idea of how much they're worth and how much they're selling for. Now, real quick, low-priced items like this, you're not going to find a drop shipper that you're going to be able to really make money with. You're not going to be able to drop ship this stuff. There's not enough margin in it. The only way to make money on small items like this is you've got to carry some inventory. And we'll have to find a source for that, and I'll show you a source for that here in just a second. So bottom line is your margins are razor thin anyway. There's a ton of competition. There's obviously a lot of them selling. But if my price ranges are somewhere between $4 and $11, I know I don't have a lot of wiggle room, especially because I know if I sell one of these items, it'll probably cost, $2 or $2.50 to ship. Let's say best case it costs us $2. That cuts down on our profit quite a bit already. Not to mention the cost of the item itself. So, yeah, the margins are thin, aren't they? The margins are definitely thin. The other thing you can do is you can come in here. There's a section here on the left to filter what you're seeing, and I'm going to filter by sold listings for just a second. So I can just see only ones that have sold, and I can check out their prices real quick. So let's do that. Sold listings. Okay, here's a lot of them. A 30 package lot for $50. So, I mean, you could almost use eBay as a potential supplier if you're seeing that these lots are selling like this. That's a $1.66 a piece per spinner if I bought a lot off of eBay. This one sold for 80 cents. But notice really quick, you're like 80 cents. How are they making money? Look where it's being sold from. From China. I'm going to circle that lots of times. Because if it's selling from China, there's going to be a discount on it. And the shipping is going to be longer. In fact, let's click on this listing and learn a little bit more about it. Sold for 80 cents and $1.70 in shipping. So we'll just round. We'll say it sold for about $2.50. It's pretty darn cheap. Even the Chinese aren't going to be making much off of that, right? The problem with these Chinese ones is I bet the shipping, it takes a while to get to you. Shipment. Trying to figure out how long it's going to take. Yeah, it's going to take a while. Hold on. Let me see the original listing really fast. Here you go. Check out the estimated delivery with this thing. 12 to 36 business days. That's a problem for a lot of buyers. Okay, that's why a lot of buyers won't justify. I mean, $2.50 is really attractive, but people will pay 2, 3, 4 times that much just to get it within a week. So while Chinese sellers are potential competition, they aren't always competition because there's a lot of people that won't buy it. I mean, look, if I've got my son's birthday next weekend, I'm not going to buy this for him, right? I can't roll the dice and hope it gets there. I'm not going to pay $2.50 for it to come a month late. I'm going to go out and pay $8.50 and have it shipped to me in the next 3 or 4 days. That's what I'm going to do, right? And that's why when we were looking earlier, we were seeing these fidget spinners sell for up to 11 bucks in some cases, because I think some people are willing to pay a little bit more just to buy it from a US based seller. So keep that in mind. Some of you guys who have researched this market saw how low some of these Chinese sellers are selling it for, and you immediately said, nope, can't do it, can't compete. You actually can compete. You're just not competing with Chinese sellers. You're competing with more US sellers, okay? Okay, so anyway, I mean, bottom line is we can look through countless fidget spinners here, and we can see prices all over the board. I'm pretty confident if I bought a bunch, I could probably sell them somewhere in between our range, which was somewhere between 4 and 11 bucks. Let's say we're in the middle there, and we're around, let's say 8 bucks is going to be our sales price, right? Well, we know we've got $2.50 of shipping, and we're still not sure on how much we can buy them for. I mean, we saw if we bought a lot off of eBay, we could get them for $1.66 per, but that was only for 30. Let's head over to AliExpress.com really quick. Some of you guys are familiar with this, AliExpress.com, and let's check this out. I'm going to look for a fidget spinner here on AliExpress. And I'm going to see if I can find them cheap. This is direct out of China. I'd be buying, this is not a drop shipper. This is going to be, I'm going to buy 40 or 50, carry inventory from my home, buy them direct out of China. So you can see there's some cool ones here. I didn't see any of these on eBay. They're probably on eBay, but there's some cool ones right here. This is a little more traditional looking. You can see the prices. I like to filter sometimes on AliExpress. So I'm going to come in here and I want to see price. And I'm going to do sort of lowest to highest, so I can sort of filter this way. So on the low side, it looks like I can buy them for, oh wow, I spelled it wrong. Hold on. It would help probably if I spelled it right. So let's go price low to high. Okay. On the low side, these right here, from 89 cents to $1.63. Guess it depends on which one I'm buying, huh? These are 89 cents a piece right here. I mean, are they going to be amazing quality? Probably not, but none of the fidget spinners are great quality. There's just different styles here for different prices. Get a Batman one for $1.63, but on the cheap, it looks like I can go 89 cents a piece. You know, and I could up this order to whatever. Buy 50 of them, right? 50 for $45.82. It's a pretty good deal. Now, the thing about this is prices are often negotiable. So I could contact the seller and say, hey, if I buy 50, will you give me a discount? And they might bump it down to 75 cents a piece or whatever. I know it's not that big of a deal. I mean, we're talking about 10 or 15 cents. It could be if you were selling these in mass quantity. But if we're just going to try the market out, I might buy 10 or 15 at 89 cents a piece. So right, 89 cents a piece. So we're going to say our cost is 89 cents per. We'll say shipping on the low side, you know, with material is $2.50 a piece. So what is that? $2.50 plus 89 cents will be our total cost. 0.89 plus $2.50. So our total cost out the door is $3.39 on this. If we sold it for $8, like we're going to try to sell it for, $8 minus $3.39, that leaves us with about $4.61 in gross profit. Now that doesn't actually take out the cost of selling on eBay, right? Because if we sell on eBay for $8, what do we have to remember? eBay and PayPal are going to take 13% of that, right? So let's move. That'll be about $1. That's $1.04. And then they also take 30 cents per transaction. Okay, that's at an $8 price point. So let's put all of our research together. We're selling for $8, right? Maybe I'll just write this down so you guys can kind of follow along with me. Sale price, 8. And we're going to minus a few things. The cost of the fidget spinner is 89 cents, right? The cost of the shipping, we'll say, is roughly, and I'm estimating, but roughly $2.50 anywhere in the United States for shipping. Cost of PayPal is going to be that 30-cent fixed fee. And then in this case, we said $1.04 minus 104, and that's for the 13% eBay/PayPal fee. Okay, and that's going to leave us with what? So let's do the math on that. 8 minus 0.89 minus 250 minus 0.30 minus 104. We're going to make about roughly 350. I'm going to round up to 350, okay? Is about what we're going to make per sale. So 350 is not much, but I mean, if you could sell 5 a day, 350 times 5 times 7 days in a week, you could make over $100 a week if you sold 5 a day, right? Does that make sense? 5 times $3.50 profit. Well, let's say you just sold 1 a day, right? So 7 times, no, not 1 a day. Hold on, let me do my math right here. 5 sales per day is going to make you $17.50 a day. Okay, not much. But if you look at that in a week, $17.50 times 7, it's $122 a week, $122.5 a week. Okay, let's times that. Let's say $122.5 times that by 52 weeks. You know, you're making per year $6,370 a year. If you want to look at that as a month, we could divide that by 12, and you'd be making roughly $500 a month off of that. And that's if you were closing 5 sales a day. Right, nothing spectacular, but I know a lot of you guys would think to yourself, I could use an extra $500 a day or a week. Or I'm sorry, a month. Right? That's a couple of car payments or 1 nice car payment. Right? It's possible you could do that, but there are some assumptions here. Right? The assumption is I'm going to be able to sell 5 a day at an $8 price point. What's going to justify you being able to do that? Great pictures. You're a U.S. seller. You've got a really favorable return policy. You'll probably need a feedback score that's a little bit higher. Like there's some assumptions here we've got to make to really justify being able to make the investment. And worst case, guys, you could test it out and try it, buy a few of them and see if you can't sell them, right? Like worst case, you saw my break-even point. Like it only costs me 89 cents here. The shipping is $2.50. Like I could sell this for $5 and break even. So worst case, I could get out of it if I needed to. So, but what's my real recommendation? My real recommendation is you're getting into an industry that's incredibly saturated. I mean, if you wanted to make real money in this industry, you would have had to have done a little research before, saw it getting hot, saw the trend starting, and then hopped into it and got involved. If you're getting into it now, you're a little late to the party. I still think you could make money at an $8 price point. I think that's probably a little aggressive. I mean, it's likely, you know, you could sell them a little more quickly if you were priced around $6 or $7. You can even sell them for more, I suppose. Some of the you could find some cooler ones that, you know, are a little different from your average fidget spinner and be able to sell them and make a little bit more money too. So it's all about testing it. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I don't think I would do this because I don't think there's enough money here to justify the time and the effort. But it would be a good laboratory for learning for you guys who have never done any of your own sourcing out of China, just to get a feel for how it would work. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on how this would work. Let me get to your comments, please. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask away as we're talking about this. I don't know if you've ever thought about doing a little sourcing out of China, or even if you've thought about these fidget spinners, but I thought this would make kind of a good case study, and it'd be nice for you guys to see how I think about this, as a potential opportunity. Trisha, you said you were just asking your coach about it today. He didn't know about that site. Yeah, it's a good one. AliExpress is a really good one. Hopefully I explained that, Pat, how to decide on my prices. Yeah, and like you said, Trisha, it's a month out. I mean, we figured out shipping on this is going to take about a month. A month for us to get it, right? Like most stuff you buy out of China is going to take you a month. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but you'll see on this particular one. I know this is going to be kind of small, but 60-day guaranteed delivery. I mean that takes a little bit of time. So you'd be August by the time you'd write June, July. You'd be first part of August by the time it's guaranteed. Most of the stuff I bought out of China takes about a month. Sometimes sooner. Good. It's likely your coach probably does, Trisha. Most of the coaches know about Data Labs and AliExpress. All right, so consider it as a takeaway, guys. You don't drop ship these low priced items. You just can't. The only way to compete is by buying inventory on stuff like this, unless you found some crazy good wholesale drop shipper. But then even then, there's hardly money in it. I mean, you see right here at an $8 price point, we're only making $3 on it, $3.50, right? If you cut a drop shipper into that, they've got to take a piece of that, maybe even half. You guys would be sharing $1.50 or $1.75 in profit. It's just not happening. You got to buy your own inventory and stuff like this. Are there wholesalers here in the United States, Charles? There might be. They'd be priced too high, though. I know that's kind of an assumption or a conclusion I'm drawing without even really looking at the market, but that's just from years of experience looking for product. Here's the reality, guys. It costs people, businesses, much more money and labor to do this kind of stuff here in the United States than it does abroad. That's why stuff in China is so cheap, because they pay people almost nothing by comparison. And so, hey, I'm all about U.S. only and purchase items that are manufactured here in the United States, but I'm also a realist. There's a reason why Apple doesn't assemble a lot of their products here in the United States. It's too expensive. They'd rather do it in China. Doesn't make it a bad product. Just makes them smart business people because they know they can make more money that way. It's the reality of the U.S. economy, right? That's what minimum wage does to an economy. There's a lot of arguments about, hey, is minimum wage a good thing? And, I'm not here to have that debate. But in part, it makes us non-competitive on stuff like this because the Chinese aren't dealing with some of those same burdens as business owners, having to pay people minimum wage for stuff that they can pay people far less for. So, take it for what it's worth. I don't want you just to think in terms of fidget spinners, though. I'd like you to think in terms of, hey, what else could I source out there in China? Where could I get an edge? And can I find some items I can make money with? Because this is a pattern that I just showed you that you can run with almost any product. Okay. Okay, guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope that at least answered that question in some detail. Try it if you want, but you've got my 2 cents on it now. We'll see you guys next time.